one way or another. Why not play a map that, if sure stars align, you'll win, and it does take a fair few parameters to go your way to beat a team like Saw on Nuke, but you at least have it in you. Whereas, like, we saw the Ancient, they were just a bit clueless, weren't they? You know, and I think they maybe even went into Ancient being like, all right, probably not going to win this one, guys. Take it easy. Let's see what we can learn, right? But the mentality they approached with was not one of, I have to play 150% on this map because we can win, whereas they might have the depth to do that on Nuke. So, yeah, I think it feels logical in the current game to pick up a permaban, at the very least. Either way, we're into Vertigo here, Trav. Monte starting on the T side.
Yeah, it's a very interesting conversation, isn't it? Because, you know, lots of teams have different philosophies, and the fact that, you know, Ash does so much work alongside everyone else at GamerLegion to, you know, figure out maps in the pool, and I mean, that's why something they wanted to go for. But there are a couple of obvious weaknesses for GamerLegion at the moment. I'm not going to pretend that I'm smart enough to know exactly what to do to fix them, but that's not my job, so it's fine. GamerLegion versus Monte underway on Vertigo. Krasnal has got the flash smoke, and they are repositioned toward the B stairs. Going to pop their head up toward that plywood position, and Andy does a great job at swinging for one, but in comes those flashes, and you will get removed. So Volt in that smoke, trying to be spammed down, still behind it, and eventually will be removed by Krasnal again. Flamus will recover. Aggression already, though, by Slen to try and catch one more. ZTR fighting right on the edge of the building. Managing to find Demka, and with Krasnal falling to Flamus, will be GamerLegion who will nab the first round.
Yeah, very well done there on the retake in particular. A fast-moving one from Monte, and can be easy to get overwhelmed by that, but GamerLegion doing well. So a good start for them, and this is something that they really do need. Of course, again, playing this one very, very recently, just yesterday against Saw. Didn't go so hot, unfortunately, for them. And they ended up getting sort of 2 punish maps against Saw. But there's a lot to work from. There's a lot to learn. And again, the sort of joy of this qualifier is that it's really well suited to teams, I think, in terms of the timing. And therefore, they could have done some work coming into this. K going to get melted as he's blind and spammed. First death of the round.
Oh, this looks very clean to start for GamerLegion. Volt with the UMP. I'll seeing some UMP enjoyers on this team. ZTR or Volt. Which is an interesting one, of course. Spoke about that quite a lot in a couple of previous matches. But see some duels here. 7 HP now on him, and Volt might be able to get some more bonus cash. I think it was Elise who did an interview about the UMP, saying, you know, if he wanted to work the round more, he'd prefer the UMP. Feels like the fire rate and the spray pattern and control is just easy. Whereas with the MP9, if he wants to rush, then he'd buy that up. But overall, it's a bit of a... There's 2 different thought processes with those 2 guns. But, yeah, it was a while ago, that interview, so maybe his feelings have changed. And now, Dia just looking to grab one more kill, because that would be nice to limit GamerLegion to 2 alive rather than 3. Big difference.
He are spotted. Oh, that's unlucky. With an AK, that's a kill, and maybe a bomb plant, but he didn't have an AK, so he will fall. Tiny bits of damage done. Monte maybe wanted a bit more out of it. Should be a 3rd quite easily here for GamerLegion. I think there is good potential for this to really springboard. Monte have not given us an awful lot to be excited about, honestly, Trav. You know, really, really cold start from the pickers of this map. And it is one that they like. It is one that rolls around as a punish. Not played it for a little bit. Might be an argument. We'll see. We'll see. A cold start for sure. They may well even need a timeout. Krasnal buying up the Galil. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but it might just be enough. David could be his weaker defended. The fight comes their way and they manage to control.
Nice tap from Volt. I think, you know, the goal will be to get a couple of kills with that Galil. Only got the one thanks to the Deagle of Hades thus far. Okay, 6 HP, 1 bullet anywhere will remove him. I'm not sure that Galil, is it recoverable? I think it is. But not sure where the gun has actually gone to. The nade did get the kill on Krasl, so I'm thinking maybe it's got blown off the building or something. If K wasn't able to find it there. So a bit annoying. But yeah, I agree. It's a little bit of a questionable decision. Sometimes you do see teams prioritizing damaging the opposing team's economy on one player at least and take that fallback of having the one player who does buy up on maybe a SMG or a pistol in the gun round. Because obviously Galil's so cheap as well these days. You might even be able to buy Galil Kevlar again, who knows, with some utility. But yeah, it's going to be curious. As you can see, you can buy a Galil and some util. So I guess that's the thought process. One Galil is fine in a round like this. I even choose to just focus on full belt of utility though and go for a Deagle instead. So there we go. That is the fallback they've committed to. GamerLegion up 3-0. And of course, we're always at risk of repeating ourselves a lot during the couple of days we do these qualifiers. We're always new viewers, of course, joining us. If you've heard this before, apologies. But, obviously, Hades, AWP IGLing for this team. On the Monte side, it hasn't really impacted his numbers that much from what I've seen from him thus far. He's been very good individually, and Demko, of course, learning more Polish to go along with his 4 Polish teammates. So, Flamus forgets his jump throw bind, throws a nade into the sky, nice firework, but no damage.
I do like that. I'm not sure I've ever heard anyone call it a firework, mate. Nice little image. But yes, you are correct. The crux of it is that it's done no damage. Hades takes loads, but dishes 1 out. Big kill for Monte. They seem to have a pretty good read on this B-bomb site and the fact that it's a slightly over-aggressive stance usually from GamerLegion. Not super well defended, not super well site-based. Maybe that will change in the future, but I've already noticed that in a few rounds. So I think, yeah, Monte really leaning on this B-bomb site, feeling like there are pretty clear problems over here. Volt gets the smoke down. Gonna have to be careful. Bagging the site control. Molotov comes his way. He's forced forwards. There's mollies all over, and it nearly does work for him, you know, hidden in that bright light. 5 versus 3 here. Nothing too great for GamerLegion. Might even just be a save.
I think so. You know, they got their kits on Flamus and ZTR, and smoke on Slend, even with Hades and Deher walking wounded. They've done their work, they've done their damage, they've done their role, and completed it. So Monte will get off the mark in the all-important gun round, and Krasl does get a free upgrade in the end, doesn't he? So all's well that ends well for him. M4A4 grabbed for free. When you play, do you focus on A1S or A4 these days?
A1S, man.
Yeah.
Just easier to use, to be honest. You know, way more effective. Sometimes an M4, sometimes an A4 if I'm feeling, you know,
spicy.
Yeah, or like playing a site on my own. Or, yeah, A1S can spam. It's just really easy to control, I think, for like, you know, a slightly lower level player, to be honest. It's just easier to work with.
I agree. It's weird, isn't it? Because I'm a big enjoyer of the A4. I kind of mentioned it with Arasdos, I think, yesterday for Saw. That seeing him use it and the sprays looking incredibly straight, incredibly clean and accurate makes it very satisfying to watch and makes you think you can do the same. But I suppose, put simply, the A1S is a lot easier, and that's why a lot of people do tend to use it even at this high level. If you're a solo anchor, like you mentioned, then the extra 10 bullets make a big difference. Some players do love that. I like the difference between the two right now. I love the differentiation, the fact we can pick both in the buy menu. It's something we were asking for a very long time, and when that finally came through, made me very happy. Send with the AWP out now, of course. Looking to hold toward the bottom of ramp, looking for his first pick, but has to flick up on an awkward angle, actually. And Hades will remove him.
Big nade onto Flamus. Ooh, that Molotov was supposed to go behind the sandbags. I am 100% sure. Make a really big difference here, especially with an aggressive position from ZTR, right? He's really trying to draw them in, distract them away. But they are not sold here. And a timing, as there has been a player crept through yellow. Looks pretty good for Monte, actually. They will contact all the way towards B, and this could be a really big round for them. No information gathered for GamerLegion, just left guessing.
Good work from Andu. Combining it with the nade. Ah, even swings wide for the next. That's why I'm a big enjoyer of the young Estonian. There's not many in World Counter-Strike from that portion of the world. There is one obvious one that goes without saying, but any others you could look to from the past include HS, Fates as well. Remember him? There's Supra as well, obviously. But I think Andu could certainly put himself on the map in the future to be in that conversation with Rops if he ever gets a chance on a big team. Long, long way to go in his career, but I'm a big enjoyer of his, and I really think he's got the talent to make it. A great hold, great crosser placement and accuracy to complete that round for GamerLegion. It's one of my more left field predictions, I think, for Andu to be very, very good in the future in terms of, even maybe winning events, but I've seen a lot of good things from him. The first kill comes through from K in the following round, though. This time it's Flammus to fall first. GamerLegion, it was a great bounce back in that previous, but now K is putting in some of that work we saw from him yesterday.
Glenn rolling forwards, they're so ready for him. That was maybe the only chance for GamerLegion. So Monte just got to yoink the bomb, get it planted, should be theirs. They do have some, I'd say, decent positioning to eliminate the entire GamerLegion contingent. Oh, okay, maybe not. I was going to say, surely overwhelmed here, but the AWP does miss his shot. He's taken a few on the way out, which is pretty big. You can get one more here. It ends up being way more costly than Monte would have ever wanted. 1 on 5, for goodness sake. Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute, Travis. Wait just a second. Because he might actually be on for the round.
You need the full ace for this vault. Demka and Diha next to each other. And Vault. Only 44 health, but he does have that kit. Demka and Diha holding hands together, as you can see, right next to each other, making sure Vault are just not given an opportunity to isolate either one of them, and Vault's just looking to see if either one of them makes a mistake. That's all he's looking for. If one of them does, he'll go for it. The fact they don't mean that he's going to fall away and save. Demka and Diha will deal with it. So, blushes spared. No blushes will even begin, and Volt will obviously manage to part his way back to recover the AWP as well. So, definitely worth. Monte will halve the arrears.
Okay. This is the big one, though. This is the big one. GamerLegion looking to answer back, going deep into the coffers for it. And absolutely have to do so. Monte could close this gap so very quickly, and it would be very, very difficult recovery for GamerLegion. As we have touched on and talked about, this really is not the best map in their pool at the moment. So every round, every opportunity has to be seized. They're not going to have that timeout, that wherewithal to pull things back. He doesn't do too much. Creeping up on the contact. This one could do a little bit more. And it does. Still not quite devastating, though. Monte, I think, will be able to take a step back. Could even have reapproached, but opting not to do so.
Flammus on the boost, just crouching up and down, holding an angle to hold for someone walking up toward the gap position. Up a little bit of plywood there, or checking the sandbags. The fact he sees and hears nothing will probably give GamerLegion a pretty solid idea of what's coming here. Monte have plenty of utility in this round, which is a big plus point for them. Still, with 35 seconds to go in it, Volt is set up with Andu, and Andu can peek off of a flash from Volt, or even a rotating ZTR or Andu could even flash himself, for example. So this could be very interesting. Monte are kind of walking into the mixer here, but they're hitting all their shots. Goodness me. Flamus does get removed by the lurk of K. Demka deals with Volt as he swings, and that was just pure deletion.
Yeah, not looking good here, GamerLegion, man. Not looking good. As I talked about, B-bomb site, severely vulnerable for this team. Ramp not really approach. So GamerLegion are often playing their CT side on a lack of info. Yeah, it's very standing around, very hoping to hit your shots as they come your way. And it just allows the T's to really execute in, get full control, not feel panicked. And that's a great headspace to be in when you're going into an attack. So I would like to see GamerLegion take a few more steps forwards towards that ramp area.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think lately, there's a lot of maps, aren't there, where assertiveness on CT side, obviously it's been a part of Counter-Strike for, since the cows came home, but, it's like, I feel like I'm seeing it a lot more on maps that need it now, right? Like, CT sides are fighting fire with fire. If you let yourself get executed upon you're just not going to win the round. So it's Inferno, it's been happening forever. We're seeing it a lot more in Anubis now, which incidentally could be our third map decider for this series. Especially for Monte as well. We're seeing it a lot on Ancient toward lane and mid. I think it evolves very much, that CT aggression. And he unfortunately gets mollied out from the cubby. Tried to play it off of Slen's contact with that AWP in play. But nothing working this time. And Monte are working their way back into this series, or this map I should say. That's for sure.
Yeah, right lines, my guy. Ooh. Bolt just manages to avoid death, to be honest. If he'd kept on going, it would have been an easy kill. What has Slend got for us, ultimately, is the big question. He's working his way back round to the A-bomb site. I think certainly could position well. Just sort of 1 or 2 to keep the economy low. It's not the greatest thing in the world from Monte at the moment, but the last one was flawless. If this one comes close to that, it would be really dangerous. Slend goes back in. Too many targets here, man. Oh, okay. Of course that's the kill that he finds. He will get bested eventually, but plus the 5-7's not a bad look. How is Volt also avoiding all of these spams, by the way?
Yeah, and dealt with nicely. Slend another opportunity. Who knows what it could have been if he got his first 2 that he actually went for before that smoke bang. Unfortunately, with no AWP saved, being removed means there's no AWP in the following round for him on the GamerLegion gun round. Just the 5 A1Ss. So, good position to be in right now. Monte, they have control over the economy somewhat, and seem to know what's been working thus far. As we kind of mentioned yesterday, GamerLegion, this is one of their 2 maps which they have not really found an answer on just yet, in terms of many things, it has to be said. It'll be the first or last time we say that in this series, or Flammers tried to go aggressive in that bottom ramp smoke. Gets deleted by Hades with that AWP, and with Krasnal finding Andu, even though he was low, 13 HP from his opening frag in this round. Unfortunately for GamerLegion, they're not gaming in the last few rounds.
Oh, ZTR,
wow.
A little just oversighty on that peak, or rather, I suppose, undersighty. Doesn't find the kill. Yeah, it's running away, isn't it? It really is. As I said, Monte start off a bit cold, but they have very much set themselves up nicely here. Should continue as well, as it is another eco from GamerLegion. Half by. So something to work with, but again, we're not seeing these even come all that close or all that dangerous.
Monte's goal is to keep these clean from here. You've got to avoid these 5-7s doing any naughty work, and we saw them suddenly do that yesterday. 5-7 right now is in an incredibly overpowered state, as we all know. Those instant headshots, those dinks from long range could even compound things. Monte playing it very carefully, like they would up against any gun round. Right now there's no threat toward A whatsoever. But, of course, they are not to know that. Stack toward B for GamerLegion. And often, Vertigo, it's still a little bit of A ramp simulator, but a lot more rounds are ending B these days because of how different A is. How unsafe you sometimes feel going for a plant on the site in general. So, ZTR will probably go down here, you would think. They will plant in the probably newest, safest position with the fact that elevator was open there. But GamerLegion, with the fact they're buying next round, might push and swarm and get some decent frags here.
Yeah, to be fair, Demka on the angle, funky old one, but he's going to swing around. A lot of players just getting nades out and whatnot. Support is coming now as well. Glenn probably the best player to find that kill, but nobody else able to chime through. Could go glass cannon AWP now if he really wanted to, but not going to be the case. Timeout coming in. GamerLegion have to make a return here. This is really streaking. You know, Monte up to 4 could be even more from them. The 8-4 is just around the corner. So, yeah, GamerLegion really struggling here. And I don't know, I maybe even feel like this timeout is slightly late.
For the first half, yeah, for sure. Of course, Monte ranked 48 in the world right now. GamerLegion ranked 33. Of course, Monte been going through a massive rebuild, adding K, making it a full Polish team, but for Demka, who was trying to actively speak Polish. And GamerLegion, a rebuild for a very young roster. And, you know, being 15 places ahead of them in the rankings, people might look at this game and think, okay, should be close. But there's a fact of the matter that rankings don't hit headshots. And so far, Monte had been hitting those, and GamerLegion haven't in the last few rounds.
Flamus spamming away, nobody on the other side of it. There's a few bullets that may well have made it down, maybe a nade that snuck in. It's actually not a bad start in that respect for GamerLegion. And the change up in this round, what they've maybe talked over, is the ramp presence. There's a lot more of it. So, it's good to see. And it is, indeed, forcing a bit more out from Monte. K goes down through the smoke. It's a big old scalp to be taken. So, immediately, the game changes for GamerLegion.
Oh, the dink for dink exchange. Volt versus Krasnal, but Krasnal will best him with the AK. Slen pushing for this one. Demka, you know, he was there from his kill earlier on, and Slen would have felt like he had to take that. 2v3 for GamerLegion now, but look at the HP on Demka and Krasnal, and actually Andu will find the one player who was healthy. This is going to be very difficult to work out. Krasnal will find an AWP, but look at ZTR. A late round sandbags reposition. There's no way you guess this. It's a bit of a mini masterclass from ZTR. Perfect positioning, and he'll get both to break the mini streak that Monte had built up.
Yeah, better late than never for sure. I think GamerLegion will be happy with that. Can they keep it up? Can they keep it neck and neck? And can they just give themselves something to make life easier in that second half? It's safe to say. They are dead even when I look. It is only 4 maps, right? So you really do take that with a pinch of salt. It's not the deepest amount of information for sure, but we really saw them struggle on the T side against Saw, didn't we? So, not massively confident. Again, though, aggressive stance will find Andu an opening frag. He's been struggling on B. I think they kind of stopped him from doing it in some of the earlier rounds, but after winning one, he goes back in. Okay. Just to give him another. That's a bit close. He's got to be careful now on the exit as well that he doesn't get taken down. Volt traded in middle, but they retain the man advantage.
Hades looking to answer back. Gets 1 kill in return. Rotation from ZTR is good, though, toward this heaven position. He can check to see if they cross toward elevator, but he is going to cross actually all the way toward that gen area. He's going to go for the taps. Very awkward angle. K's been taken down. Now it is only Hades. He's going to have to go for it. Final round of the half. Strafing away. Not allowed to get away. GamerLegion will be pretty happy to even it up at half. And we'll see if they can continue that after the break.
Let's love for the night. Slow dance till the sun comes up. Let's touch under lights. Slow dance till we're high on love, high on love. 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 Till we're high on love. Till we're high on love. Till we're high on love, high on love. Till we're high on love, high on love. Till we're high on love.
One last chance, we can keep it on the low. Back and forth, we don't wanna let it go. Feels alright, so how can it be wrong? Oh, work if you want me to be yours. Lose control. Give your mind and give your body truth be told. I want all of you. I love it when you say my name. Don't worry, I won't play no game. When you say my name, I love it.
Gamers, welcome back in. The second half getting underway here, of course. And GamerLegion, with a recovery, a pretty good one, to be fair. Took a timeout, pulled off a bit more aggression. Trav and I were just talking. The style of Counter-Strike may be a little bit too slow there on the CT side. Once they flipped it up, it did make a big old difference. And they are indeed changing the pace here with a B rush and a nice little execute.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. It is just like the
What?
bomb, but Hades is here,
Oh!
holding the line as he finds 4. This is what happens. Try something a bit different, and you may well slip up in a big way. Hades is left low. Slen to do it all. He's got no armor, and they're on top of each other, but it can change so quickly. He pulls off the reload. That draws them in, and it's not enough. The ace is stolen. But Hades, the hero.
My goodness me. How has Hades recovered that? GamerLegion had the site. They had the site. It was 5 versus 2. They try and reposition and get into afterplant positions with the bomb plant. They don't even get that in the end. Hades. We saw him light up the kill feed, and then the end of the last 2. How has he found those? That is unreal. And that's one of the things I was mentioning earlier, is that, you know, in the rounds where I think it really matters, Hades doesn't miss a beat, I feel like, still. Obviously, everyone makes mistakes, everyone misses shots, but he hasn't really fallen off that much individually while in-game leading for this team, I don't think. That's why, for now, I definitely have seen promise with this team. Not yet in terms of, you know, getting back to the heights that they did have under this organisation, of course. Well, this organisation in general did have. But there's a world in which they can qualify for events like the more ESL Challengers. They kind of made ESL Challengers their home, haven't they? When they won Yongshiping last year and SDY got MVP. Already made another final, I think, after that. Pop themselves up in the big events as well. Of course, winning a Challenger does qualify you for Pro League. So that's technically the qualifier for the qualifier for the qualifier for Pro League, if you get what I mean. It's a long, long run. But they get some more opportunities at big events. They have the experience to do something there. Just going to take a long time after missing out on the RMR, of course. GamerLegion did not miss out on the RMR. Andu kicks off the gun round. Important opening again. His entry kills have been critical for GamerLegion's recovery, but Krasnal will respond.
Sort of down, no one on the end of it. A lull in action here. As GamerLegion can really feel the pressure and absolutely do need this one. Again, it rolls into a very slow and methodical kind of style, contacting up the ramp to see what they can get away with. Please, dear God, you have this Molotov. They've got to give attention to the sandbags, but I fear they may well overlook it. ZTR's trained, ready for a run out. ZTR's got the volley, uses it in on sight, but they were waiting for a step. Slen takes the head. Certainly causes a bit of tension. Maybe the utility going to be well used here. Quick trade out. May well be the round, we'll see. Monte, looks like they do want to stick here.
Nice shot from K. Andrew is trying to reposition to a safer angle, and he takes a heads-up duel on Slend as well. It's all Volt. He's in a decent position, and they're, of course, both walking wounded. 11 and 13 HP. It's one bullet on both of them. Surely he finds this clutch. 1 and 2. There we go. Blush is spared. Volt takes the 1v2. One of the easiest in his entire career, that's for sure. And a triple kill to get GamerLegion within 1 again.
Okay, let's see what they're able to bring into this follow-up round. This is where Monte might pull out something a bit special. It looks like they're going to do exactly that. Hades is in on the AWP real fast, trained in. Should be sticking on this angle for quite some time as well. They do come his way, and he misses the shot. So there you are. He had an opportunity, and he misses it. Quite literally. Volt trained towards middle. GamerLegion feel confident.
Of course, with just Volt alive means they only have the Andu Mac 10 and the ZTR UMP in this round. So let's see how they respond. Flamus wandering his way up. Maybe that has a bit of a gap here because Demka. Oh, the 5 seconds gap. It should catch him. It does. There we go. That's so unfortunate. Flamus could have found the timing to deal with Demka, but not to be. Now GamerLegion will focus their efforts on mid, through the incendiary toward B. Hades has to stand tall. He misses that second shot. Should get overwhelmed, but an easy no-scope on Volt. Flick on towards Slend, and Andu is stuck. He's found by Diha, and a bit of Hades magic will once again give Monte another round.
Okay, not what GamerLegion wanted, right? They needed some consistency. They needed to take the lead, probably secure double digits, and they were dreaming of bigger things. Denied at the second hurdle. To be fair, they did pass the first, but now they have another obstacle, and it's quite a hefty one. They're going to have to eco. It will all ride on this next rifle round, to be honest. It could be over before it really gets going on the T side for GamerLegion.
Yeah, I feel like that incendiary in toward window made their mind up to push the two players through straight away, right? The fact that Hades hit the first one was most important, and he missed the second, but it's whatever. Like, he knows how to no scope around that gen position. Flick on the last was very nice. Slen kind of standing in no man's land, wondering which duel to take next. Awkward. And it's sometimes those awkward situations which I feel like GamerLegion haven't necessarily found the answer to yet with this roster.
Okay. Trained and ready on the double stack. Could be dangerous here. They're boosting a couple up. Seems savvy. He's checking his angles. He knows something's up, man. He knows something's up. He might be hearing these little jump noises. You know, they are audible, although quiet. Either way, he gets a well-timed smoke down, 40 seconds. Just trying to bait attention towards him, right? It's Dihar at the back end, yeah. Works beautifully. Dihar will go down, but that's fine. They were ready for an overwhelm and just really did not want to give too much away. So very low on ZTR. There he goes. But yeah, you really also don't want to take the chances there. You don't know if it is a half buy on the other side, if they are cooking something up, if there is a contact flash coming. So they play a safer game, and it works nicely.
Here and now for GamerLegion, they have to start gaming. Been a bit of an improvement on this map from what we saw yesterday. I feel like a little bit, but gun rounds is where it matters. That's unfortunate. Debka, the nade just smacks him in the back of the head, and he hops around as if to say, "What?" Loses 40 HP from that, unfortunately. It happens. Sometimes you do just get in the way of your teammates' nades by accident, and now he's a bit walking wounded for the rest of the round.
It's true. A little bit of a funny one, sort of Benny Hill theme. Slightly. Yeah, I don't know what other themes are funny, really. Hades finds the first kill to open up the round, though. That is exactly what Monte needed. And GamerLegion, again, on the back foot, playing from behind. Not a nice place to be, and it can be difficult at the best of times. They are starting to wave goodbye to this one pretty heftily, it feels like. We've got that Dust2 coming up next, which could be interesting. Feels a little anti-GamerLegion style. Maybe it is where they're going to try and bring some more aggression and change things up. In the same vein, I think Monte will be perfectly happy to bang a Dust2 after the win here on Vertigo. Maybe I speak a bit too soon, though, Trav. The A overwhelm looks damn good from GamerLegion.
Oh, no.
All of a sudden, Dihar is alone. A couple of team kills in the mixture as well brings this a lot closer than it really should have been.
Oh, and if Dihar found that kill on toward Andu, I would have actually fancied his chances in a 1v1. He was there in plenty of time to try and feel out the situation. But in the end, Andu hits another important headshot. I feel like, you know, Andu's only 14 and 13. I'm just trying to, you know, remember some of his kills from this game. He has had an important triple kill hold toward B on CT. He's had at least 2 or 3 really impactful opening kills and finishing kills as well. I don't think any of his 14 kills, from memory, have been unimpactful. So, yeah. I think there was a few that went unrewarded on pistol rounds, of course, when they lost that quad kill from Hades. But, yeah, I think it's a good sign that these players can pop up with those. Well, of course, had his easy, let's say, 1 versus 2. But, yeah, I mean, GamerLegion are not out of this. We always speak about it. MR12, games can get close quickly without you kind of expecting it. And look at the buy that Monte have. It's a full investment. No money left over. They have an MP9 and a 5.7. If GamerLegion can get past this one, they have 10 all for free.
good, man. Looking very, very good in that sense. But yeah, it is just a case of getting it. The big old C word, man. I feel like in some of our games, me and Neo really talk about it a lot. I don't know about you. Consistency. Does feel for GamerLegion that's something they have not had. Maybe all games, you might even argue. It might be happening again. Flamus gets caught at the bottom end of a ramp.
GamerLegion will move themselves over back toward the bottom of A ramp again. Nice little boost here for Monte on the B side of the map. There was a lot of presence on that B side of the map right here. Now Hades is coming to have a look as well, and Krasnal's in mid. So if GamerLegion commit A here, obviously they're not to know the setup that Monte are currently employing, but it'll be the right call. 45 seconds to make that call, and with that utility being popped over, they might not necessarily expect there to be only one player here. And now Monte will shift things. Hades is back. 35 seconds. Are GamerLegion going to switch things? They absolutely are. Oh, Diha. He's in the Z connector. Surely he gets some kills here with the 5-7. Oh, it's only one. Slend will be thanking his lucky stars on that one. And the full push is in.
Big nade, man. Hades going to find the frag on the AWP as well towards middle. And the rest just falls into place nicely. Very, very clean finish. GamerLegion thought for a moment they might have something going, but no, denied away. Monte super ready. Super well timed. Huge. Absolutely huge. As they will find 11, they will deny that important round that you said, you know, 10-10 just on the horizon for GamerLegion. Well,
yep,
them days are gone, and now it is a battle for survival.
Unfortunately, the case. Monte have done really well. Deserve that round. How mobile they were in that previous round. Checking B. Yeah, even though they had that boost in position, right, they then moved themselves toward the B stairs to double check to see if anyone was setting up. When they realized that wasn't the case, they moved back to A. Then, when they realized that Diha was in trouble and he heard some movement, he got his one kill, they moved back to B. They never stopped moving, and on Vertigo, with it being a relatively small map, of course, those rotations can come through thick and fast, and GamerLegion were not ready for it. Monte are going to be getting themselves up to 12 here, and GamerLegion need 4 in a row to take us to OT.
All right, here we go. Here we go. GamerLegion going to have to start to deliver as Monte have begun pummeling them. And, well, yeah, I mean, we're sort of in the mid of said pummel. This is like round 5 of the boxing match. Is that halfway? I'm not sure. I don't watch a lot of boxing.
No, I don't either. I'll be real with you.
Don't they go for like 12 rounds, 15 rounds, something like this?
You've caught me on my one of 3 sports that I'm not, like, disgustingly interested in, so...
I'll do better. This is like set 3 of tennis.
Not yet.
About halfway? Or is that too far?
In a Grand Slam, it could be halfway-ish. Anyway, they need to win the duels. That's really important. On toward Demka there. Catching him through the edge of tarp. And Hades is now forced to recheck mid. He's a long way away from this fight, so... might all have to be Diha on the rotation. Bomb will go down, or they even want to go for it, considering they're at the business end of the game. I get the impression, maybe not.
Hades on the save. We'll see, man. We'll see. GamerLegion, again, they seem to have maybe a few moments, a few rounds. It does feel like when they massively change things up, or sleeping a little. Your opinions on that one, Trav? Didn't look on to me, mate. Didn't look on to me. I don't know about you.
No.
Felt like he was a little bit behind the man there.
Sometimes they can look like that, can't they? Go for the wallbang, Hades. Go for the wallbang. Do it. Oh. I thought he might try and hit one of those shots.
I know, we do love that one.
Through the rubbish chute, right?
Yeah.
It's
with a big nade as the bomb goes off.
True, the nade as well, yeah. Be thrown from there.
But then you probably shouldn't have a nade that late on into the round. Let's be real. you know. This is the difficulty for GamerLegion, though, of course. Monte have still got plenty of timeouts. If this one doesn't work, call another one in the next, potentially. Really quite a clean finish for Monte on the cards. GamerLegion making it difficult. This is maybe how you would expect things to go on a map that you're not super confident with and is not your pick. Dust2 up next. Give yourself some just rounds to prove that you are at least on par mechanically, structurally, but it is just that map knowledge that you lack.
Yeah. Reminder, of course, loser of this is eliminated from the chance of Atlanta. And only, unlike the Rio qualifier, only one spot through this qualifier in that main grand final. Monte do end up winning this entire series if they're up against either Aurora or Sashi. They're currently doing battle on the A stream right now. Aurora up 12-10. GamerLegion, thanks to Andu, deleted this round straight away. So, with Monte's money, as it is, struggling to find a way to finish this map. Andy, once again, 3 big impact kills out of nowhere.
Yeah, okay. Really could be huge if he keeps going. He had a very, very rough start to the game, I felt. You know, a lot of aggression. Oh! On B, that's 2. Why did he not get both? So sad. So sad.
Robbed.
Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Why
Yeah.
Why is that the case, Trap? You know? Is it a distance thing? It's probably a distance.
Maybe it's
like
a distance thing. Hit the arm, maybe, as well. The collateral bullet. Maybe hit the arm and or the
Yeah.
leg. I don't know.
Yeah.
They are a bit
Inconsistent.
inconsistent and unexplainable, I feel like, though,
Mm.
sometimes. Remember we saw that shot from Hades? Was it yesterday? On outside on Nuke, where like an AWP shot hit 41 damage or something, even though he was
Yes,
in
yeah.
clear view.
Yeah, it can be. I think unexplainable is quite good. That's sort of what makes collats exciting, though, isn't it? Like when one gets pulled off, when you get like 3 or
True.
4 in one bullet is just unseen. Yeah. Remember that? Was it a Zywoo collateral? I just always have that one that springs into my mind where it like broke the microphones in the ESL studio
Oh,
during COVID.
was it the Oscar triple on Inferno?
I think so, yeah.
I think it was one of the old ECS tournaments, I'm pretty sure. It was on Inferno and he just killed the last 3 in
I
one
thought it was
bullet.
like an EPL in the green screen era.
Okay, maybe. Maybe we're thinking of 2 different things, but I definitely remember the
Possible.
Oscar clip. That did break the mics in the ECS studio. I do remember that. We definitely think of 2 different things, but 2 good clips either way. K will aggress in round 23. Really important considering this is their gun round, of course. And Hades, Volt wasn't expecting him to be there considering they'd already found the first rifler in position, and Andu can only get his 1. It's all down to Slend. 1 versus 4. Monte have just had the legs on GamerLegion in this opening map. Little does Slend know there's a guy directly above him. Shadow sees.
Shadow!
Surely he realises that's
Shadow!
a player. No, he doesn't. Oh no. And he gets sent off the building as punishment. Monte take map 1, 13-10.
Might have thought it was like something to do with the smoke. There was like a smoke right next to him. So, you know, a bit confused, I suppose. I've never really noticed or seen a shadow there like that, I guess. I don't know. But either way, not much hope in the round for him.
Checking over the top of the cross smoke, you know, all those little things you can do now. It makes Dust2 a little bit more entertaining, I think, which is a point you kind of made, we both kind of made, which is fun. Because Dust2 at the end of Global Offensive was probably the map that nearly every single caster or colleague of mine would say, this is not an enjoyable watch right now. Thankfully these days it's improved. The nades breaking up in those smokes as well, of course, especially toward those mid to B splits, can make those rounds very exciting. We are underway on map 2. GamerLegion need this one to stay alive.
We do indeed. Yeah, it does not look like we are indeed live. Reset coming in. Make sure you get it right, guys. There was, of course, a bit of drama in the NARMRs.
Of course.
Which maybe we'll not go into because it got a little heavy, you know. But yeah, it can be difficult, those sort of reset rounds. And yeah, maybe that would be pretty good, is if Valve really streamlined a rule book on sort of all levels of competition. To be honest, because I think that's maybe where it comes in, is that the players are getting confused just because there's a few different permutations in the rule book per organizer from time to time. That's about all I'll say on the matter, I reckon, Trav.
That's fair. There's a lot that can be said about that. Lots of people in North America weren't very happy about that. But it is what it is, and you have to deal with it sometimes. Obviously, sometimes you can run out of it is what it is. Sometimes it gets a bit too much, but yeah, it's always an interesting conversation to have. Hades toward long. Okay, we're underway properly now. And Demka will help out with a lovely tap on Bolt as well. GamerLegion have some advanced positions. They've got Andu pushing up, but he gets removed by K as he tried to face that long position. And Slen's P250 hasn't really got into the action yet. A plant would go a long way, and Monte are allowing that to be a possibility, but maybe I tell a lie. They're forcing their way back in to prevent that. And ZTR couldn't help from short. Only one more kill from it. Slen will go down, and K crouches down on the headshot angle to take his headshot as well. Monte off and running fast once again.
Okay, not the way GamerLegion wanted to kick things off, man. It's difficult, very, very difficult indeed. I think they're going to need to find themselves fast, and they're looking to do it in the force by Trav. Not sure how I feel about this. The early AKs on Dust2 are super popular, you know. There's really not a lot of utility that you need. The action comes their way, and unfortunately, it's pretty nasty. Really nice crunch in there from Monte. Looked risky when that first headshot landed, right? But here things are going well. ZTR takes one down with him. Damage is going to be good, but, you know, this is the kind of pace that Monte want to bring. GamerLegion is completely bested in the force by. Never really get it going, because I think they know that GamerLegion want to try and mount and execute, and they just get melted.
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? I mean, I had something to work with, and those rounds can be scary. I'd actually, you know, prefer to see those choices of investments on different maps than Dust2, to be honest. I feel like the percentage rate is a little bit lower for those rounds to be a success with that weaponry, even with the util. So now they're forced down to pistols for good, and Hades is just farming with a scout right now. Told you about the scout before we went live, and Hades makes it look very solid indeed. More help now, of course, for Hades, so he doesn't get removed from the round, and he will stay alive just about. Thanks to Dia peeking to help. Triple for Dia, up to 6 already. And GamerLegion's guns will rear their heads, as well as Slen's sniper.
Okay, this is what we are talking about, though. We need Slend, in particular, I think, to start delivering very quick. It feels like Monte are just returning to form and picking up where they left off. Utility burns slow in the early round. GamerLegion tried to get a player out there, but yeah, just sort of bested by the smoke and whatnot. Not much that can be done here, Travis.
That smoke, obviously putting gaps through it now with those bullets and flammers. Goodness gracious, that nade might do it. Oh, he got taken down to 1 HP elsewhere. I thought actually he was close enough in that position, but I tell a lie. Just about gets away with his life, but then there's another one. So he doesn't, not long for this world, I'm afraid, Flammus in that round. Poor guy barely even saw someone. And he's removed. Monte with another opening. Smart opening with Demka cycling those HEs, which is one of those factors on Dust2 that can be so important. And Andu needs this kill. Okay, flipping this one slightly, but it does reface to retain a 4v3.
Looks good here for Monte. GamerLegion have sort of one chance for me, and it's going to be that B bomb site. K comes in behind and finds a really big kill, though. Hades super confident. Sure of the second man. It's all good. No smoke on the cross. GamerLegion. Wow. Getting dominated here in the early rounds. Yeah, timeout being taken. I think rightfully so, because this has started poorly.
One thing you can rely on GamerLegion to do is, think your way through these situations properly, at least, right? Even if the thought process then doesn't come to anything, even if nothing works, at least they'll put in the tack timeouts, they'll have a discussion about it, and try and find answers. Otherwise, they're just doing themselves a disservice, aren't they? But Monte have looked particularly clean thus far today, it has to be said, and I'll reserve my judgment for the end of the series, but I would say, considering the start that GamerLegion had in this qualifier, sure, it was against an Aurora that are trying to find their way with Grix as their academy AWP, with Deco on the rifle. They started so clean. They won Nuke 13-1 for goodness sake, which is remarkable against Aurora when you've got the likes of Kenzie and Norvi still in play, and how good they've looked on that map historically. But, yeah, just the consistency, which is something you mentioned, Neo mentioned, we've mentioned. It's just so hard to find at this level. And teams who do find it, make that push up very quickly, right? The teams that made the RMR, for example. GamerLegion are one of those teams, which you've got to give them their fair dues. They did make it, and they did look pretty good in that close qualifier. However, other teams who have been more consistent at this level, of course, like Sangal, for example. I think Sangal are a very, very good example of a team that have looked unreal in the Tier 2 space this year, with especially Jota, looking incredible. So, going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Unfortunately, so we don't yap on your screen for a bit too long, there's a bit of a tech pause going on here, which I think we're going to need to try and resolve. So we're going to throw it to a break a bit, and hopefully we'll be back very quickly.
Welcome back. Just a quick one, of course, as promised. Hopefully should be all good from here on in. A little change-up of the internet provider. We were kept up to date the whole way through, so ultimately clean. Hades begins things as God intended. They will be flashed off the corner. Nade just a smidge too early, wasn't it? That could have done so much damage with all of them on top of each other. ZTR making a lot of noise here as he Rotates back around to try and find maybe the gun and, of course, some utility. He gets his head ripped off. That does not bode well. They now have to deal with the potential flank from behind.
Yeah, should be a clean start. D-Hut, probably the most overpowered angle there. I mean, a player from long doors, and it's so hard to hit that shot from there if it's not a sniper rifle. And D-Hit's just being here is being a nuisance. I'm going to try and team up toward him, actually. And you know what? I like that idea, but D-Hit still gets 2 more. M4 retrieved. And lots on the ground to retrieve as well, but Flamus needs a clean ace to somehow recover this. Still got full health, still got that Kevlar. And sees the arm of 1. Goes for the pre-fire. That's Hades, of course. But you would have needed to hit a instant headshot on Hades, of course, who had no helmet. And he couldn't manage that. So Hades gets away with his life. Continues to do so. Up to 7-0 in this game thus far. And Volt and Slend yet to frag. Just yet. GamerLegion need something in this gun round. So can't let Monte get away. Because right now, their individuals are looking like they're singing.
Big one for GamerLegion. Again, not too much freshened up. Long presence, Monte ready for it. Early spawn smoke and so many bodies there, GamerLegion. And there is, you know, a lack of risk. Taken by this team. Maybe send a player through with a lovely flash or a couple of them even. You never know what you might find, but they opt to back. Maybe indeed go to this percentage style of play that they like. But also, as we were saying towards the end of Go, ended up being just sort of the meta, right? If you had a really good long spawn, maybe give it a go. You find a kill there, great, but you still wouldn't act upon it. And then you'd sort of fake things out, and it was either a mid to B that you went with, or a mid to B that ended up being a fake and leading up short. Well read by Slend, making sure not to mess that one up.
And those have been messed up in the past. So, nice judgment. Krasnal and Hades still here, playing off each other toward long, though. Krasnal goes for his duel. Oh, it's very messy. The entire clip doesn't clean out Andu. Now Demka toward Goose is pretty much isolated because Hades has been taken down. What can he do from that position? Flamus is going to try and launch his way in, and Demka tries to help. But by helping, Volt will catch him. And now Diha stuck in CT. GamerLegion have found an answer.
Diha. There's nearly another one on the way out, but just damage done. Always going to be good in their situation. Plenty of cash for them. GamerLegion, though, as you say, getting that first. It's pretty important that they did it there, to be honest. If it had gone 6, potentially 7-0, that feels like enough to just sort of win the map, doesn't it? And therefore the series, and therefore not GamerLegion out of contention. So really could have been a quick, deciding few rounds. GamerLegion will reveal themselves here, Travis, but holding my breath. I'm waiting. Are we going to get some more out of them, or will Monte answer back in the same sort of fashion that they did on Vertigo? No roll here. From the T side, Slend will find an overstretching Hades. Could be big. And the patience paying off. I think they sort of know what's up. They win their round. And Monte have to do something to keep it fresh, to stay alive. So, really well read. Meanwhile, towards middle, D-Hard's got the angle. He's got the knees. In goes Demka as well. Two-man setup. Beautifully striking and weaving together. D-Hard might go in a bit deep here. And he will get taken down. Is it necessarily needed? It is, of course, the big question. Krasnal lone on B. Good for one. Now got to fend off the rest.
They know he's here. But Demka, oh my goodness. He's just come and helped out at exactly the right timing. They were so patient, thinking that Krasnal might swing again. Like, even though there's less time on the clock, we're going to try and look for him, try and remove him, focus on that angle. But of course, we've got no utility down elsewhere. We've got to worry about those other positions, and Demka makes it sing from that other position. Double spray down. And GamerLegion, they have their flash in the pan to get the first round on the board, but now, after that, even though they've got money, it's a tough situation for them. Another tactical timeout will be used. I think the first one, to be fair, was a tech, so this is actually their first tack. And even though Diha did make that slight error, as you alluded to, right? Just popping his face through that CT smoke wasn't necessarily needed. I think Monte kind of felt like they were safe, even despite that, considering the positions they had Krasnal and Demka in.
Yeah, no, it's true. I don't know. It's a bit of a wild one. GamerLegion, maybe the first 30 seconds of the round feel figured out, and then the rest of it's sort of open and not as well planned out. I'm just going to eat the nade. Oh. That's a bit awkward. No one on the other side really could have capitalized on that big damage. Slend dropped low. Unsure of what Monte can do. They need to find this first kill. GamerLegion, again, when they're like a 5-man unit and they've got all this utility available, it always feels like there is something in the strat book to at least net 1 or 2 kills. But they've frozen again. You know, they're playing this slow style again.
Good nades. Again. Again being the key word in this round. They are going to go aggressive, looking for a bit more info though. And Volt, with only that deagle, very hard to straight up clear that position, but if Krasnal and Diha do go together on this, they will be in a good position for it. 35 seconds and the crunch is about to happen. Oh, dear me. Not a single one back for GamerLegion. Demka finds his and Diha finds his again. And when Diha is on song, it has to be said, I think he looks very, very good on this Monte team. He was one of the big question marks, wasn't he? After the Ents split up, people were saying his individual level was nowhere again. He was performing quite poorly in some of the big events, of course. And I think one of the big changes we've seen from him is him once again looking like a mean threat.
GamerLegion opting to keep things silent after that spawn smoke. Up short, try and go for a group round here, and I'm definitely a fan. They do have the 2 smokes available that give you a few options. Ways of doing it. Probably changed a bit now that the boxes have changed there, actually, but either way, they're going to roll on forwards. It's same sort of idea, covering their entrance.
Oh my word.
Really bombing for the plant, and they will... Ooh,
Oh.
Just get it. Hades with the double airstrike. Touchdown is beautiful. Did not know what hit them. They'll be in the next round. Is there going to be any kills here for GamerLegion, really, is the next question. The answer is no. An Ion damageless round coming in from the Monte boys.
Wow, wow, wow. This is way too good for Monte at the moment, it has to be said. And, you know, while I was yapping along about how Diha's looking better on the team, did you notice Monte dropping 3 or 4 spare HEs in spawn? Just stacking them either toward catwalk, toward short, or the site itself. And when it's on the site itself, when they're going for the plant, and there's a couple of players in position after all the damage that's already been done, this is too much for GamerLegion to handle, and the fact they're getting hurt like that on gun rounds and on those eco rounds is rough for them. Pace change from GamerLegion, they have to try it. Volt has made his way out long, but he has taken the damage once again alongside ZTR.
Again, though, just fully dropping back. GamerLegion do have the long control, to be fair. They can do something with that, but with a nice B tunnels push, it gives loads of info to Monte. And then you also have Demka sort of checking lower. You've got a player watching short in the form of Hades. So they're pretty ready for this A hit, pretty ready for this long hit in particular. Slowing them down at the moment. Loads of util. They can put their best foot forward, just trying to contact forwards and see how much they can get away with ultimately, Trav.
Over the top. Volt will get his entry. Cade still being here is going to be such a nuisance though, and having support of D here surely will be so difficult to get past. Are they aware of D his presence? Seemingly not. Volleying towards short before checking that smoke properly. 35 seconds, D here. When does he choose to pounce next? He knows what's behind the smoke. How does he path it? He paths it on the timing to wait for Krasnal, but he needs to finish off the site player. He will. It's Slend versus Diha, and Diha takes it again. Triple kill, 16-4. Nothing is going right for GamerLegion.
Where have they gone? We did see some viable competition from them on Vertigo, Trav, and it just does not seem to have carried over. This will be their second time out. There's not much else that really needs adding. It is a bleak situation for GamerLegion as they unfortunately are slipping away here today. Yeah, just not the best look from them, unfortunately. But it ain't over till it's over. Give us the 9-3. Get a turnaround on that CT side. Prove to us why you have picked into this map. And ultimately give yourself some competition to work with. You know, this is really, really flat from GamerLegion. Not what we were expecting.
Yeah.
I do believe that there was a bit more lean in their favor from us here on the desk. So, really surprising to see it be this one-sided on Dust2.
Yeah, because Monte, you know, I love the active CT side that I've seen from them in this half. It, you know, with all the nades, you know, dropping around in CT, swapping them up to all the A site player. And the way Diha plays that round is a bit of a mini masterclass. But yeah, it's kind of insane. I'll get into it once this game is over, and we'll just give our little quick summary on what we really think of these two and how they matched up. But just GamerLegion in general, just one day they pick one set of 3 maps, the other day they pick a different set of 3 maps. I just don't think they found a proper home, but for maybe 1 or 2 yet, and that is their main problem at the moment. Demka will recover that AWP from mid as Slen did get the opening toward Hades, so Demka, it's his turn. And he'll find ZTR. Slen looking to try and recover some more of that, but Demka, maybe he's an AWPer as well. Volt's been removed, and all of GamerLegion have to choose short to A.
It's all they've got. All they've got. And I mean, it is the best possible permutation. However, you see on your mini-map here, Krasnal and K pushing through the areas that they have no info of to indeed gain that information. So they will be pretty sure of where GamerLegion are at. It's just kind of a case of, like, is there a lurking player around? Is there someone looking to cause problems? Flamus, with a nice smoke, he does still get caught. Does well to even find one there, but it's created a weird sort of game state here. The trades, though, just too good, too strong. It's all going to be on to Slend. Misses that shot. Felt like it was on. Gets that one, but Key is here with the instant find. And Monte do a really good job of just working that one number that they have in their favor. Going to recover an AK. Yeah, he doesn't want to take too many chances. I was going to say it's maybe a little close. You've got to be careful there. There is an AWP somewhere to be recovered. But actually, no, he was just after an AK, it would appear.
Yeah, he's got so much money. The whole team's got so much money. It's better to prioritize keeping the AK and just buying up the AWP again. So well played by Monte. I like what Flamus tries to do there, right? I mean, they're down 1 number, as you mentioned, 3v4. He tries to right-click a smoke behind him and play in front of it to try and recover an instant kill. He does, but it's instantly traded. And then it just leaves Slend in such a tough position long-term. And fair play to Monte. They've fought through the tough rounds. They've completed the easy rounds comfortably. GamerLegion are just struggling to find answers. So only one proper gun round thus far. Everything else has been pretty smooth sailing for the side of Monte. And now Polish-speaking Monte, of course. It's going to take some time to really get into action. But Demka mentioned to me the other day the mood is still seemingly pretty good, despite the fact they thought they were out of the RMR, then back in with the chance, then out again after the Paravision situation. So fair play to them. They're keeping energy up, and it's showing in some of these results. D-Hare will respond toward Flammus. GamerLegion have a 4v2, or 4v3, sorry, to try and transfer into a win, finally.
Hades. However, he didn't fully back off, and he will keep them coming. Oh, Hades, this could be big. They're yet to deal with him. Just needed a bit of support, man. They could have finished the round there between all of them. However, they scrambled to try and do so, right? Try and capitalize on Hades' captures. And it's left Ihar all alone. Hades a little too early. Headshot's clean, but Vault gets the trade. So GamerLegion at the very least have got that to work with. But 2 overall surely will not be enough here. We'll see you in a few.
We go off in the night. We leave in the red lights. Man, let me you can see right. We go show me love, taking this pure heart of mine, high above, we go off in the night, we leave in the red lights, you can see right, but we go
The legion of gamers are dwindling, and they could be about to disappear from the Atlanta close qualifier. Monte have put in a superb CT half of Dust2. 10 rounds, double digits, only 3 away from the next round in their lower bracket gauntlet.
Yes, indeed. As they are shaping things up here. A very, very clean finish, sir. And we like the look of Monte. We've said they've got a lot of potential. It's just sort of about working it out. D-Hart in particular. Good to see him at the top of the scoreboard, as you may well expect, given the rest of the players on this team. Pistol going very well for them at the moment. Thomas trying for another, not quite able to get it. Volt is a really awkward range with those dualies. Can be make or break, to be honest, and often it is break. A lot of chip damage done, but the kill's just not coming in. He has to back off for a reload. That leaves his teammate out to dry. They will overwhelm him as well to even find that, in my opinion. But Monte, bag 11, and probably the map along with it.
And the series, I'm afraid, for the GamerLegion fans out there. This has been a really, really good performance from Monte. I'm impressed. It's quite a lot to do with, GamerLegion underperforming, especially on their map pick here. But overall, Monte, I really think they're making progress. If they can somehow make a lower bracket gauntlet run, it's not impossible. They've still would have Saw to contend with, at some point in the upper bracket, you would think. But either way, it's an opportunity to maybe do something with that online. You never know. And they're out long once again with an open kill on Flamus.
We'll tag on to Slend. Looks good here. Key with the contact. Should be able to bag the A-bomb site. Final second is hard for him, but there's all there. Demka to trade out. 4 on 2. And it looks all but over, doesn't it? Sort of the last hurrah, really, unless they can pull off something absolutely insane from here or from the next round with the subsequent force, which is not going to look much better than this one. Bomb goes down. Do have a kit. I'm trying my best to give them something, but they're going to have to do it all themselves here, really. Run boost? Oh, no, just a regular boost. Okay, just a regular boost. It's been spotted anyway. So I think that's going to be that. Yeah, there's nothing you can really do. It sucks to save, but, like,
What
can you really do anything from there? Yeah.
It's so depressing having to save at 2-11, and you're saving a 5-7 and a UMP, for goodness sake. Oh, it hurts. It hurts to watch. And unfortunately, it has to be said, really, like, don't get me wrong, I am a big enjoyer of all the pieces of this GamerLegion team. Together, they can make it look good sometimes. When they have, like, a clear plan, how they anti-stratted Saw on Inferno the other day, like, they completely cancelled them out. But then on the other maps, they didn't look ready at all, and that's a big conversation point, which we've been on over last couple of days. And yeah, I feel like Monte have kind of exposed them as well in this game too, maybe even firepower wise as well, because they've been nowhere on the scoreboard on this map. 12-2 for Monte. They're going to flash their way in toward long. The flash timings are really good, and even though GamerLegion had their own self-flash and re-flash set up, they'll get the entry, and it could be the beginning of the end.
It could indeed. Some chunks taken out of Monte, though. And the scout here. Always a deadly angle if Slend can find some last-minute form. Here's what's up as this utility starts raining on in. I think he's going to be very, very ready for a couple opportunities to bag a tag. Of course, got to bag the frags. He does get the tag, but he loses his head for the trouble. We'll see now. This M4, this Galil, going to have to do God's work. Flamus has begun to replace his teammate. There comes first. That's one of the healthier players as well, so a pretty nice find from him, actually. Looks back in for a bit more and will lose his life for the second time of asking. They're also very unsure whether it actually is going to be A, and they've sort of made a gamble that is potentially incorrect. They move back round towards short here. A little bit on top of each other. But could work. Could work. They've not yet got the bomb in on the Monte side. I don't know that they're going to expect 2 players from here. The problem you have is one of them's a goddamn UMP, so you really need to close this gap if you can. Flash comes over the top. It's just a bunch of headshots that are going to be required. And Monte, as you can see, coordinating, making sure not to give them solo fights. Full respect across from Monte.
Damn.
Deservedly taking that final round and the series. 13-2, though, man. Really, really disappointing stuff from GamerLegion. We wanted to see a good Dust2 from them, and it does sort of beg this question. You've got a few options in there, right? Maybe we see a Mirage. Maybe we see the Anubis pick. Might feel risky, but play to your own game. And I think they've